Hi, my name's Emma Larmour. I work in Cedarmount Veterinary Clinic in Bangor, County Down, where I've been since September 1999. I started as a kennel assistant, going on to become a trainee veterinary nurse, where I then qualified as a veterinary nurse in 2006. Since then, I have gone on to be head veterinary nurse stroke practice manager in the practice. After 15 years in practice, I started to really feel like I was stuck in a rut. I'd been here a long time and I just felt like I needed to do something a little bit different. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone. I just felt like every day was the same and life was just becoming a bit mundane, and I wanted just to do something and challenge myself a little bit more. I didn't feel that a total change of job was something that I wanted to do, but I did feel that I might want to go down the route of volunteering somewhere abroad. Through the WVS, which is the Worldwide Veterinary Services website, I went through a list of possibilities and options of where I could go to, of which there is many. There's lots of different types: zoo work, wildlife, spay and neuter clinics, working in general small animal clinics. The list really is endless, and there is so many for you to choose from and so many opportunities. For me, I decided that the Caribbean was the one that I was going to go with. I don't think it was the blue seas and the beautiful beaches that just influenced my view on that, but it was certainly somewhere where I decided that I would like to go. In October 2013, I went to Carriacou Island, which is an island off Grenada in the Caribbean. I originally had planned to do this trip on my own, and I had booked it to go on my own, but a friend who is a vet had decided that she would like to come along with me, so we ended up going together. Despite that, I don't feel that you need somebody with you either. There was no need to have somebody alongside. It was quite easy to do on your own. It was a long travelling, yes, and it was great to have the company, but don't let it put you off that you're thinking about maybe doing something like this on your own, because as soon as we stepped on that island, we were made to feel very welcome. We were well looked after. There was nothing to worry about. You do not need somebody to accompany you, although it is always nice to have somebody familiar. So on October 14th, we headed to Carriacou Island. The place that we went to is a non-profit independent organisation. The island itself is a local island only, so there's no tourists, or there's very little tourists that are ever on it, and it has a population of 8,000 people only. The first thing that struck me when I arrived on the island was how poor people were. They had very, very little, and it amazed me how happy they appeared to be, despite the fact that they really didn't have very much. I spent 3 weeks on the island. Initially, I was very surprised by the lack of resources and by just how basic the clinic was. We had no laboratory work, there was no blood sampling, there was no x-rays, there was nothing. You basically got an animal, you went on its symptoms, and you give it treatment that was available to you at the time. So it really was very basic, and it made you appreciate just how lucky we are in the UK to have what we have. Everything was really done by symptoms, everything was symptomatic, everything was just in front of you, and really what you could do with it and what you had to do with it, which wasn't a huge amount. Mainly we got a lot of road traffic accidents. Dogs in particular were not liked by a lot of people. They do not have dogs as the cuddly, comfort, luxury pets that ours are. You know, ours are very lucky in that respect. Their dogs are security. So 9 times out of 10, these dogs were chained up in a garden, you know, just putting people off coming into the house, any sort of robberies or anything like that. So RTAs were quite high because a lot of people didn't like dogs, and if they were on the road, unfortunately they ran them over. So we've seen a lot of RTAs, a lot of fractured legs, which we were very limited to what we could do. Usually putting a cast on or amputation was really our only options. We also seen a lot of tick-borne diseases, and we also did a lot of spaying and neutering. One of the interesting things that we did was on a Friday was house visit day, and on house visits that meant that people that didn't have a car or couldn't travel to the clinic, we went to them, and it was a really good eye-opener as to how these people live. You were seeing into their homes, you were seeing the environment that they were in, you were seeing just how little they had, how they lived, and it really was quite interesting, you know, and it was a really great part of the trip that I quite enjoyed. House Visit Friday also involved lunch and a few pina coladas, although I'm not sure back in the UK would be allowed to do that, sadly. The people have very, very little money. They're very poor, so they have no money to spend. Therefore, all of this treatment was free. They were asked to make donations if they could, but many of them couldn't. So you were basically giving them free treatment and doing whatever you could for them. In turn, they were so appreciative of our help, our skills, our knowledge, our expertise, what we brought to the island, what we did for them, and they actually paid us in kindness. And in doing so, we therefore got to go on boat trips. We did snorkeling, we swam with sea green turtles, we went out on a boat trip where one of the locals jumped off and caught some lobsters and barbecued for us. So you really got a lot of playtime, despite the fact that there were some days that were quite busy. You did do quite a bit of work. You did get an awful lot of time to play as well, and see parts of an island that you would never have seen, and do things that you just could never imagine. So when we'd been to barbecues in some of the locals' houses, this was all ways that they repaid us for our help, for helping their animals, for saving animals' lives, for giving them treatment, for bringing treatment with us. They really were just so appreciative of your time. As I stayed in my long-term employment, I haven't had the opportunity to update my CV and discuss the voluntary trip with any potential employers, but I can only see how it can benefit any veterinary nurse by doing so. I also did quite a lot of local work for Vets Now Emergency over a 9-year period, and between the emergency work and also this voluntary work, I feel that it has made me a much more confident veterinary nurse. It can only benefit anybody that takes part in it, and it also makes you much more versatile. It makes you more adaptable to change. You're put into an environment that you're not used to. I was doing a job that I could do with my eyes open, so with my eyes closed. So going somewhere different for me I was really very apprehensive about it. But I've learned new skills. I've learned new techniques. I've learned to change. I've become much more confident in working and carrying out new things and being responsible for myself. You learn new things from new people. You work with different nurses and different vets who teach you new things, who teach you new ways to do things, who teach you things that when you're training you were never taught, and it's just a way of working. I absolutely loved the experience. I'm sorry I didn't go sooner. I wish I had done it many years ago before I had multiple bills and mortgages tying me down. So I really do stress that young veterinary nurses out there, do it now before you have any other commitments, because it is a great experience. You will learn so much from it, and you will enjoy it as well. As I said, I was apprehensive of going, and it really wasn't necessary. Every part of it was just great. I was worried about going to a new environment. I was worried about being the new girl somewhere where I didn't know what I was doing and didn't know how they worked and what drugs you were going to use, etc. And there really was no need. The people in the WBS were more than helpful. The girl that runs the clinic in Carriacou Island was lovely. They show you your way. They make it as enjoyable as possible for you. And in a way, you can do your own thing. You can bring to them what you've learned, and you can also learn things from them. It's made me probably appreciate what we have, not only in regards to modern technology and just how lucky we are and our patients are in the UK to have all of these wonderful up-to-date modern technology and skills, but it's also made me appreciate life a little bit more. These people were very, very poor. They had very, very little. They didn't have any mains water. They relied solely on rain. They had the most basics of food. Cheese and bread, which is probably two things that we take for granted, was few and far between. You had to get to the bakery within the first hour to get either of these two things. But yet they were so happy, they were so laid back, and they lived a really enjoyable life with the means that they had. It's a big world out there. There's so much to see. But once you qualify as a veterinary nurse, Don't just go into normal practice and stay there. Don't feel that you can't go out of your comfort zone. Don't feel that you can't broaden your horizons and do new things, because there is so much to do, there's so much to learn, there's so much to see, and I would encourage all new VNs to take up and do something, even if it's just 1, 2 or 3 week period and that's all you ever do. It's an experience of a lifetime, and I highly, highly recommend it. I hope at some stage in the future I get the opportunity to do it again, but go out there and do it. Thank you.